Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Great news, great news. Zelensky met Trump and Macron in Paris, France, during the opening ceremony of Notre Dame du Paris. And they met for 35 minutes. In those 35 minutes, what happened? Trump came out and said, Zelensky would like to make a deal, offer you a deal. And we're going to have here in this little video about 6 articles regarding the meeting between Trump, Zelensky, and the poser Macron, Mr. Emmanuel Macron. All right, I don't like that weasel. I think he's smart, but he's a weasel. But better than, stupid and weasel. Here you have Russia Today. This is from the 8th of December. Ukraine would like to make a deal with Russia, Trump says. The US president-elect says the time is ripe for an immediate ceasefire and negotiations between Kiev and Moscow. It ain't gonna happen. Look at this guy, the poser, the beggar, and the leader. Well, how you wanna call him? We'll find out if he's a leader or he serves the same guys as these guys serve. Ukraine would like to make a deal, peace deal, with Russia. US President-elect Donald Trump has claimed after meeting with Vladimir Zelensky in Paris. So Trump remarks came after reports emerged of regime change in Syria, which I made a video on that a minute ago. Russia lost all interest. Okay, this is a different story. Let's go to likewise, Zelensky and Ukraine would like to make a deal and stop the madness. They have ridiculously lost 400,000 soldiers and many more civilians. Who? The Ukrainians? There should be an immediate ceasefire. Negotiations should begin, the president-elect said, adding that if the conflict is not resolved, it can turn into something much bigger and far worse. Yeah, the Russians will nuke you, and you will nuke them. All right? Great, great, great. So they think that because, Russia lost all interest in Syria because Ukraine where close to 600,000 Russian soldiers lay wounded or dead. So these guys think that because Syria indeed fell and the forces of democracy won, backed by us, which are always good, I will direct you to see Iraq, I want to see Afghanistan, I want you to see Libya, now Syria. Syria will have the same fate. So nevertheless, we bring freedom and democracy. Remember, the project of the new American century? Watch my video. I watched it. Yeah, I did watch it. I posted it, uploaded it a minute ago. So Trump thinks that now Russia is weakened. Indeed, in Syria is, but not necessarily in Ukraine, where it's advancing. So that's what Trump says. Let's go and see the next article. The next article comes from Agence France-Presse. Trump says Zelensky is ready for deal with Russia. I'm going to tell you what deal Russia will make. We're going to have the non-negotiable for, remember, the reason why they attacked unjustifiable Ukraine and unprovoked, but they have 4 reasons why. The Russian says, we will go all the way. What are you going to do? Nuke us? You're going to bring troops in Ukraine? We're going to fuck them up. Bring them on. I think that's the conversation we're going to go. But hey, I'm going to let you know when I hear about it. He's ready for a deal. The poser, right here. Look at this guy. An American, a French, and a Z-stein. Excellent. US President-elect Donald Trump said that Ukrainian president, because he's Ukrainian, Volodymyr Zelensky is keen on a deal to end the war with Russia. No. After the pair met in Paris to discuss the future of the conflict, Zelensky and Ukraine would like to make a deal and stop the madness. Okay, excellent. That's great news. Zelensky, after meeting with Trump and Macron, says peace through strength is possible. For the Russians, indeed, not for you. Look at the poser. These guys, man, these guys are just... this is like a schoolboy with his homework. This guy is like has to hold that so he make sure he doesn't fucking tumble. And this guy is Alain Delon. He is the poser. Jesus Christ, man. Jesus Christ. Let's see what Zelensky says. So, let's see his statement. If you have any, right? and I'm quoting from Zelensky, a good, productive meeting with President Trump and President Macron, who's a loser in France. He's got, what, 20% approval rating, but he somehow is in charge. Democracy for you. As always, President Trump is determined. Oh, now you suck his thing, huh? After you said you're Thank you for that. Thanks also to President Macron, who's a non-player here. He's just a sideline guy who just cheer. Ooh, for organizing, Mr. Macron, organizing this meeting in Paris. Yeah, that's nice. We talked about our people. Did you talk about Israel again? Oh my God, the situation on the battlefield and a just peace for Ukraine. Should it be just for Russia too, or just for Ukraine? I mean, if it's only for Ukraine, I think the Russians will disagree with that. Why? They're not losing. Sorry to break the news here. We all want to end this war as quickly and fairly as possible. We agreed to continue working. Who's we? Peace through strength is possible. You know what peace through strength means? When we are winning in the battlefield, we're going to impose to you. We're going to make you, please, we want peace. Oh, no, we surrender. Here's my pants down. There you go. That's what means peace through strength. Like the Russians are losing, or you see them losing in the future. If they didn't use any nuclear weapons in Syria, which if you think about it, the Al Capone used proxy war against the Assad regime. What does it tell you? Remember, Russia lowered its nuclear weapons use doctrine. Lowered it to if our allies are overwhelmed, we could intervene. They didn't. So I guarantee you they will do in Ukraine. I give you 99.9% the Russians will not lose in Ukraine, and the Russians will have all four things. These guys here will say, no, we peace through strength and all that garbage. No, I don't think so. I think the Russians will have it, but these guys will use euphemisms to make the baboon think that they won the Cold War. Yeah, you won the Cold War. We won the Cold War. Okay. Let's go and see what happened in those 35 minutes. Kind of like 35 minutes on a threesome. It's kind of short, don't you think? These guys are not performers. A threesome here. Meeting between Zelensky, Trump, and Macron lasted 35 minutes. I mean, you're not even able to state your name properly in 35 minutes. Three of you, let alone disgusting. I think that's the way it was. Trump got in and said, you sit down, shut the fuck up. Okay, now you. Listen here, you're going to do this, you're going to do this, you're going to do this. How do you say yes in Yiddish? Tsutsu. Okay, and Zelensky was like, tsutsu, tsutsu, tsutsu. And after Trump said that, he's a Macron. I said, shut the hell up, Macron. Macron is, with his hand in his pocket, checking his little dingy-lingy. Anyway, so here is that's the way I think it occurred. He went and told them, and then he said, you know what? Got to go. Bye. See ya. Never. The meeting between French President Emmanuel Macron, Ukrainian, because he's Ukrainian, President Volodymyr Zelensky, and US President-elect Donald Trump in Paris lasted 35 minutes. Quote from Mikiforov, the meeting is over. It lasted about 35 minutes. All right, next. Russia Today, German Chancellor candidate calls for end to arming Kiev. This is peace through strength to you. Alice Weidel is the Alternative for Germany party's first ever nominee for head of the government. The co-leader of the right-wing, not far-right, this is according to Russia Today, right-wing Alternative for Germany party, AfD, Alice Weidel, has said that she will oppose any arms supplies to Ukraine if she succeeds Olaf Scholz as the country's chancellor. Now, I would like you to remember all these guys who had supposedly big balls of fire, remember, to do this to Russia, never surrender, to the last Ukraine, blah, blah, blah. After Trump would say, okay, we're gonna have peace talks here. You're gonna hear these guys who a minute ago, like Boris Johnson for instance, or like Starmer, like Macron, like Scholz, all these tough guys who are going to say, yeah, peace is good, yes. I mean, for the benefit of the Ukrainians and the saving lives, they will all be like that. They will switch 180 degree. That's what they will do. Or maybe I would say like Annalena Baerbock, they will switch like 360 degree. That's what she said. Putin turned around 360 degrees. Like she meant 180. We all make mistakes like that, but Annalena Baerbock is an infantile. Foreign Minister of Deutschland über niemals. So let's see where these peace talks could be held. And I don't believe the Russians will accept this. The new voice of Ukraine. Vienna open to peace talks, Austrian Chancellor says after meeting with Z-stein. So, Austria is about what, 11 million people, or between 9 and 11, if I remember, between 9 and 11 million people. It's a landlocked country in, if you take the Danube River, which is, okay, landlocked country over there. A lot of Soviet and Russian now spies in that. Remember, Austria was considered neutral. The Soviet troops, remember, when they gave up Austria, the guy said exactly like they did with Ukraine, neutrality. And yeah, Austria is somewhere in between. Austria could be organizing the meeting, but the meeting will be held between whom and whom exactly? About what? The Russians will discuss with Zelensky. First, according to the Russians, Zelensky is an illegitimate ruler, president of, according to the Russians, of Ukraine. Why? According to their interpretation of the Ukrainian constitution, that's their conclusion. Now, what can you do? Well, you go with your thing. If the Russians, which is, no, here's the legitimate one. If the Russians continue to advance and the Americans will use you to fight the Russians in Ukraine, the Russians will use their, how do you call those? ICBMs, hypersonic missiles, non-nuclear weapons. No, just the ICBMs, the Oresh Nuke that they used in the Dnipropetrovsk as a warning. They will use a few of those, and then what are you going to do? Are you going to threaten? You remember that movie, one of the latest with, I don't watch Batman movies, but I watched the Joker in that movie. I can't remember his name. The best one, I think, interpretation of playing the Joker, and it was, I don't know, the guy who he hung himself, the actor, actually, I'm sorry for him. He said, remember when I use this on a few of my videos because I like it very much. I like the interpretation. Batman beats him in the interrogation room or interviewing room in the police station, bam, 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 and hits him, and boom, boom. Where is it? Then, what's his name? The Joker. You have nothing to threaten me with. Nothing. Exactly. US, they have nothing to threaten Russia with. Why? Equal forces. And the Russians will not stay to fight these baboons. They're going to say, come over, red robber. If you shoot me, my finger is going to fall right on that red button. Boom. And remember what Kadyrov said. Ramzan Kadyrov, the crazy guy, yeah. He said, the Russians have this kind of, according to him, doctrine. If Russia falls, the government falls or something, it's an automatic self-destruction. So they will detonate their missiles, nuclear missiles, on the Russian territory. That means this thing is going to be like... Okay, so the Americans know that. So you think about it. So where's the strength? Don't believe. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart. At least they spoke. At least Trump said, well, he would like to talk. He didn't say Russia, we're going to queue up. He give that little threat after that, because this could escalate. To where? You have nothing to threaten me with. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.